We step through the doors. Standing in the center, directly facing me, is the Shadow Elemental. Time for the reveal! Oh, there she is. Her long hair falls delicately to her back, flowing around her gossamer gown. Her dress hugs her every curve. As I lift my gaze, her violet eyes meet mine. I open my mouth to speak when a gasp interrupts me.
The elemental.
They can see her this time! I glance over at my friends, who are frozen in wide-eyed shock. Amy's eyes are the size of saucers. Her mouth is open in silent wonder. I can almost see the questions racing through her mind. Leanna's expression is one of more quiet amazement. She carefully looks the elemental up and down. Zack slowly shakes off his surprise and resumes his usual expression, while Kara doesn't even bother to mask her appreciation. Wait, you can see her?
I sure can. No wonder you went ahead and kissed the last one.
Hey, she kissed me? Ha ha ha, always with the jokes, Kara. My gaze darts towards Leanna. She pretends like it doesn't faze her, but she refuses to meet my eyes. Zack claps a hand on my back.
Guess you aren't crazy after all.
Yeah, I'm not. Throughout the whole encounter, the Shadow Elemental's gaze remains on me. As I refocus on her, a smile lights up her face. Her dress shimmers as she takes a step closer.
Child of the other world, you have finally arrived.
So they know of me? And she at least was expecting me? Her voice feels familiar yet strange, like a melody I can't quite place. It's quiet yet resounding, delicate but powerful. Holy talking element, be cool. Oh, so you can talk. That's helpful.
Yes, I can speak.
Cool, cool. You're the first one to talk. None of the other elementals spoke. I feel like I'm a little too nonchalant. I feel there should have been an in-between option.
For the safety of Mortalis Terra, they could not.
Mortalis Terra? Oh. How come?
In order for us to manifest fully onto Mortalis Terra, it would drain a dangerous amount of energy. Because of that, my sisters have merely projected illusions of themselves to help guide you.
I see. Yet you're here. So, are you an illusion too? She shakes her head and her hair brushes alluringly over her chest.
Shadow energy is in excess here. I came seeking your aid.
You need my help?
Ether Terra, where I am from, and Mortalis Terra work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy. When Terrans use energy, it returns to Ether Terra. And when we use energy, it flows back to Mortalis Terra.
Oh, okay.
This is the reason why maintaining the balance of energy is important. It is so both of our planes of existence can live and thrive upon our shared world.
So does that mean it's an issue that we're not using shadow magic anymore?
But we noticed an irregularity. Shadow energy was being used less on Mortalis Terra, and as a result, there was less shadow energy available in Ether Terra. But the other elemental energy usage remained unchanged. My people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands.
How?
Slowly, shadow energy increased in use until it was back in balance with the other elements. And yet, shadow energy continued to grow and grow. And now the imbalance has returned, with the scale tipped to shadow energy.
Wait, how? Wait, so people in your plane used more shadow energy. I thought the issue was there wasn't enough shadow energy in your realm. Did I miss something? Let's actually review the log, because I feel like I might have missed something. Yeah, my people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands. Slowly, shadow energy increases in use until... Yeah, so like what? Did people from your realm come to our realm? And like, are they heading void or something? What's going on?
That must be because of Void tainting other magic to Shadow.
But people, her own people took matters into their hands, you know? That's what I'm wondering about. Leanna's voice is soft, barely a whisper, but it surprises me nonetheless. The dip in shadow energy they felt in Ether Terra must have been a result of the ban of shadow magic after the Treaty of Asaria, and the spike must have occurred after Void began tainting spheres. Like, that all makes sense. I'm just wondering about her people, you know? For the first time, the Shadow Elemental's gaze slides over to Leanna, who falls quiet, uncertain under scrutiny. The Shadow Elemental smiles softly. Her gaze continues to Zack and then Kara, but lingers on Amy.
You have a strength and ability much greater than your age.
Amy continues to stare in awe. She's too awestruck to speak. The Shadow Elemental smiles reassuringly. A gentle silence falls over us as I contemplate all she just said. This isn't what I was expecting.
Time is of the essence. I should not remain here much longer, but I'm sure you have questions.
My mind races with questions. There's an elemental and she's not from here and she's talking to me. That in itself is a lot to wrap my head around. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down and collect my thoughts. What is Ether Terra? What are you? What are the temples and their trials? Why me? How did you know that I would come and collect energy? Nope, no questions. I think why me is the most important one. I mean, because that's something that I think all of us could benefit from hearing, you know? Like, how did I get here? Why me? Why do I have to? I mean, I assume I would help them because I'm the most powerful, because I have control of everything. I'm the Avatar, as someone in the comments pointed out. I think this is just the most significant one for everyone. However, in case later me wants to come back and try other things, I am going to save. Was it you who brought me to Terra?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Now we know how I got here. Why did you pick me?
We sensed the fortitude of magic ability on the parallel world was significantly stronger than here on Terra. So my sisters and I opened the rift to that world.
Magic is stronger on Earth. Is that what you're telling me? But why?
The humans from that world, your world, have a capacity for magic that
Okay.
is unseen here on
They
Terra.
have a capacity that's higher, but no actual use is the thing. So that's why I have a huge capacity. Humans on Earth just haven't been able to tap into that. Maybe because there's no Ether Earth. How is that possible? Earth has no magic. She shakes her head.
I do not have the answer to that.
That's fair. It's not your realm. I get it. That surprises me. I guess the elementals are not as all-knowing as I expected. They have their limitations too. But why did you choose me specifically? She looks at me.
We hoped that a champion from your world would help us, and so you traveled through the rift.
I'm a champion? You knew me as a champion of my world? So it was purely by chance that I was chosen. Is that what she said? We hoped that a champion from your world would help, but that's okay, whatever. Like, see, this one, how did you know that I would come and collect energy? I mean, how did she specifically know? Well, because I did from all the other elementals. I think that's obvious enough. If it means, like, how did you know that this quest to collect energy would start to begin with, then it would make more sense. But I think the next one is, what are the temples and their trials? I am curious what the elementals, like, why exactly they want that. Is it just to limit the people who could go there? But it's not like people have, or it's not like, you know, the elementals themselves would have to manifest themselves to anyone who comes by. So yeah, what is the reasoning behind all that? If Terrans built these temples for you, why do the temple trials exist?
Every elemental energy type is manipulated in a different way. The trials are created by us and tailored to determine the capacity one has to handle that energy.
But do you actually ever just, like, hand the energy out, aside from to me? Because I was unaware of that, if that's the case.
The trials are implemented and watched over by the Guardians. They ensure the integrity of both the trials and the participants.
I remember the Firefox at the Fire Temple, but where were the other Guardians? How come I didn't see all of the Guardians at each temple?
The Guardians do not always appear. Some do not wish to be seen, but all are present within their temple.
Fair enough. I remember the trial in the Water Temple. I wonder if that imitation Amy was actually the Guardian in disguise. I see. She nods. Okay, well, good news. I think I can ask all of the questions, so I will. My butt hurts. This one. You were waiting for me. How did you know I'd come here or go to any of the temples? How did you know I'd come here or go to any of the temples? There we go.
We believed that you would naturally find the areas of high energy concentration, if only to find a way to return home. My sisters tried to guide you as much as they could.
I guess it was just lucky that we encountered Void and pieced together what was going on. How did you know I'd help you even after... How did you know I'd help you even after learning about Void?
We had faith in you.
They didn't know, they just believed. Of course I'll help. And here I am. Your faith was well put. She nods. What is Ether Terra? You said you're from Ether Terra. Where is that?
It's on Terra, but on a different plane of existence.
I furrow my brows. I see. That explanation makes enough sense to me. It does, yeah. That's what I had already thought. What are you? What is an elemental? She delicately cocks her head.
Your titles are not the same as ours. I'm not familiar with elementals.
That's the term Terrans use to refer to you.
Oh,
A smile plays at her lips, and she runs her fingers through her hair thoughtfully.
elemental. I like it.
I'm glad.
I am the Shadow Magistrate. As such, it is my responsibility to maintain the balance of shadow energy flow between Mortalis Terra and Ether Terra, and to balance the shadow element among the other elements.
How do you maintain that, though, if you only have control of it from one side? I mean, if there's like an abundance in your world, do you encourage more use of shadow energy? Or if there's a lack, do you, like, restrict it? How much say do you actually have in what your people do? That's quite interesting. She smiles. I can understand why the Terrans view the elemental as deities, but it sounds like that's not the case. They're more akin to societal leaders. That's all I need to know for now. I say it for nothing. We should get moving and stop Void. Like, I thought it was gonna be you have one chance, you know, to ask a question and then we move on, but no. Leanna stirs gently beside me, reminding me of her presence. I'd forgotten they were still there. It makes sense that they remained quiet to let the shadow elemental explain. Kara steps forward.
Sorry to interrupt, but how come we can see you?
I assumed it was because the others were illusions, but she's actually physically here. The shadow elemental turns to face her. Her hair floats. Again, this is just a comma splice. The shadow elemental turns to face her, period. Her hair floats behind her before falling back in place.
In this manifested state, I exist in your plane.
Kara digs an elbow into Zack.
And someone here didn't believe the elementals were real.
He crosses his arms.
Yeah, well, someone also told us Void would be here. But I haven't seen them anywhere.
You're right, it's been quiet. Maybe she
They
knows
aren't
something about
here.
that?
Then where would they be?
Besides this location, I can sense one other area with a strong congregation of shadow energy.
Okay. Amy nods, finding her voice again.
Perhaps that is where Void is located.
Perhaps.
Is it nearby?
The elemental shakes her head.
No, but I can send you where you need to go.
You could just send us. Alright, cool. By opening a rift? She nods. Yeah, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home anyway. Don't say anything. It's pretty helpful that she can open a rift. The elemental reaches out her hand. For a moment, nothing happens, but then a small purple hole the size of a pea tears open in the space in front of us. It eats the surrounding space until the opening is large enough for a person to fit through. I stare in awe as the jagged fabric of reality falls around it. Is this like a black hole? The rift opening is a rich lavender with no indication of where it leads. It feels ominous and familiar. I'm aware black holes operate differently and the fact that a black hole is actually invisible, but it just seems like they're going with the same wormhole kind of thought. My friends look stiffly at the rift, distrust and hesitation in their eyes. Only Amelia looks intrigued and excited by it.
The balance of the elements must be restored. We're counting on your help.
How come you don't come with us?
This temple has a tremendous amount of energy. It's safe for me to manifest here for a brief time, but I cannot manifest elsewhere, lest it cause irreparable harm to Mortalis Terra.
I thought the issue was that they didn't have enough energy to fully manifest themselves. Not that it would harm this Terra. I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm curious about that. Because it was quite a ways back. We can't go back any farther. Well, I mean, it just says excess here. Yeah, I don't think I can go back far enough to see that. Darn. Oh well, that's fine. Hopefully I didn't miss it, but whatever. Not a huge deal. Amelia steps up to the rift, but the elemental stops her. She faces me again.
There is something I must give you first.
Okay, I'll take it. She steps towards me, her dress, is it the energy? Her dress billowing behind her. She reaches out her hands. Before she touches me, Leanna pulls me away.
Hold on.
What? The shadow elemental remains frozen. Her eyes are expressionless as they land on Leanna. Again, the comma there.
You've seen the kind of damage shadow magic can do. Are you sure it's safe for you to accept that?
Shadow magic on its own does not do harm, as is the same with any element.
But the corruption it can cause.
I put a hand on Leanna to reassure her. It'll be no different than when I absorbed any other element. Everything will be fine. Her brows are still creased with worry, but she nods and steps back. I was actually expecting a choice there, honestly. The Shadow Elemental places her palms around my face. Her initial touch is like getting hit with a snowball, an icy impact which fades into nothingness. A smooth stream of energy pours into me, soft as silk and as cold as ice. It freezes my bones, darkening my spirits. My teeth begin to chatter and my body shakes. My vision clouds as wave after wave of energy forces itself inside me. They cling to me and twist and crawl within me. I feel numb, yet my senses are heightened. It runs through my veins, weightless but present, like a shadow. Everything ceases as once, when she breaks contact. I jolt back, blinking my eyes until my vision returns. She seems more translucent than before. Right, because energy. Leanna rushes over to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I turn back to the elemental. Thank you. She nods.
I have done all I can. The rest is up to you.
My friends also look back at the elemental.
You can count on us to help.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish time was not so urgent. I have many questions I wish to ask of you, but I thank you for all you've done for us.
The Shadow Elemental nods and indicates the rift.
Please proceed with haste.
I hesitate, staring into the brightness. What happens if I walk through here? Amelia confidently steps through the rift.
Amy!
Zack is right behind her heel. And Kara races after him. I guess that's fine. Only Leanna and I remain. She looks over to me. As I meet her gaze, I nod, but she returns. She runs through. Stealing my nerves, I follow Leanna into the rift. The brightness surrounds me, engulfing me until it's all I can see. The muted silence is deafening. My blood races through me, but I can barely feel the adrenaline. I feel like I'm suspended in crackling electric air. My legs wade through the light. It's thick and heavy, as if I'm wading through water. Time seems to slow, and yet, an instant later, I stumble out of the light and into a forest. When I turn back, I catch one last glimpse of the Shadow Elemental. She waves goodbye before the rift closes behind us. We don't even know where we are, so going back home might be fun. Cue outro, go!